Howdy, how's it going? Welcome back, or howdy if you're new. There is a ton of stuff on this table, and you're probably already asking questions. You're probably already asking, where have I been? What's going on? You probably also want to congratulate me on my 5,000 subs, even though I didn't put out a 5,000 sub video at 5,000 subs. But without further delaying or anything like that, I want to go ahead and just get this one out of the way. Thank you. Thank all of you so much for helping me get to 5,000 subs. It was a very massive milestone. Absolutely. Did not expect it. I really appreciate it. Thank you to all the channel members who got me here as well. You guys are the GOAT. I appreciate it. Your contribution and your generosity helps this whole thing happen, and I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. So, with that out of the way, I would love to go on further, but I know time is limited, so let's go ahead and just dive right on in. So you're probably asking yourself a couple of questions. Am I getting the ROG Ally X? What's my opinions on it? We're going to cover that. I promise you. We're going to cover the Ally X. We're going to also cover a few other things, like where is my Legion Go? Where has been the other videos I've talked about doing? We're going to dive into that. This will be a lengthy video. I will provide timestamps below. So if you're looking for something specific and you don't have time, just look for the timestamps. I'm sure I'll cover it. I'll put it below. If not, let me know and I'll cover it on the next one. Okay. So that out of the way, the Legion Go, it's gone. Unfortunately, regrettably, sadly, flipping sucks. And I'm going to tell you a couple of reasons why. And I'm also going to tell you, before all that, I will be buying another Legion Go. I don't care. I miss it. I regret getting rid of it. And here's what happened. So the person I bought it from, really good friend, really cool person, no hate towards him, no disrespect, but I do have a little bone to pick. So I did trade the Legion Go back because I bought it from him. He regretted selling it and kept asking me, you know, week over week, could I sell it back? Could I trade it? And honestly, I didn't have plans to. I didn't want to, but I'm a genuinely nice guy, and it hurt my heart to hear how badly he missed that device. So I wanted to try to make it happen if I could. If it would make sense for me, make it make sense for the channel as well. So I did, unfortunately, trade it back. What his offer was this One X Player 2 Pro, which has 32 gigs of RAM and a 7840U and a 2 terabyte hard or NVMe drive, but it's only a 60 hertz screen, which is kind of a bummer. But it's a decent handheld with a few caveats. It was hell getting this thing set up. This will be a whole video on its own. Trust me, this needs a whole video. That's coming. So it was a 2-for-1 deal. So I got the One X Player 2 Pro and I got an Ally, and this Ally worked fine. I had to do a few things to it, but one of the things that had happened was this joystick board, one of the screws was basically cross-threaded, so it broke off removing it, and that's why there's only one screw in here now. And yeah, so I had to order another controller board, and also the little flapper thing right here that holds on the ribbon cable that connects the two joysticks together right here. It was broken, so I had to buy another one of these. Luckily, I found it on eBay. It was only 15 bucks with free shipping. Not a big deal. Not too mad about it. It is what it is. I'm also gonna come in here and clean out these fans. These fans are really, 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 really dirty. Some of the dirtiest Ally fans I have seen to date. That will seriously impact temps. It's another reason, guys, you should take your devices apart and clean them and really dust out these fans. And I'm going to show you a really sweet new tool that was sent over, and we're going to test it out live. And as we do that, we'll talk about the Ally X. So the Ally X, I'm struggling really with deciding if I should get it or not, for a few reasons, actually. One of the reasons is I'm broke. Let me take a sip of coffee real quick, because this is a big one. I'm broke. There's just no two ways around it. Money is tight. I don't like to put my business out there, but I can't do it. So I think I'm gonna have to hold off unless I can get some stuff sold. was thinking about selling this thing. I was thinking about really getting rid of a few other things that I don't use and try to free up some money so I can buy the Ally X. With that said, the Ally X is a device that I can justify hardware-wise for two reasons. I play mostly first-person shooters and racing games. I tune my games and my OS to give me the FPS that is around the refresh rate. So I usually run 110 to 120 FPS on Call of Duty, Forza, pretty much any game that I play. I try to target that. It just feels smoother to me. I enjoy it. I'm still able to run 1080p with FSR, and it looks good. I'm not downsampling it down to like 540p or anything like that. It looks good. So if you are running into what I run into, what's happening is the Ally, it has 16 gigs of RAM, as you know. But it's not a true 16 gigs of RAM. It's actually more like 10 gigs or 8 gigs. It really depends on what you have your VRAM like set at, right? So if you have 16 gigs, you have your VRAM set at 6 gigs, for example, or 5 gigs. Well, you've got less than 10 gigs available for your RAM. And between the game, Windows itself, whatever processes you've got running in the background, Discord, Spotify, any screen recording software, it's going to take up RAM as well. And you're going to run into what they call the page file. Now, the page file is basically virtual RAM, and it's borrowing it from your NVMe drive. Now, your RAM has faster speed, it's lower latency, it's quicker. It can respond quicker when you're running off of just your RAM. But when you have to borrow from the page file from your NVMe drive, it doesn't tell you in most games, it just does it. But something like Forza, for example, will give you that warning saying, hey, you're out of RAM or you're out of VRAM, and then it will just try to continue borrowing it off of the page file if it can. But that is something that happens. And when you do that, you actually get lower FPS on the 1% lows, 0.1% lows, and the ones that make it feel smooth, basically. So your average FPS, or the bigger number that you see, generally isn't too impacted by that, but the smoothness of the gameplay and how it actually feels will be impacted. So with the Ally X, it's got faster RAM and it's got more of it. So you will see an FPS boost on the lower end, and it might even bring those averages up. We just don't know, but I do know that it will make the gameplay smoother. I can assure you that. Don't know how much higher the FPS will be, but it'll help bring those averages up. Max FPS might be a little more, but it really just depends. RAM and RAM timings, even on desktop PCs, as you know, it does impact FPS. So FPS players, they generally go for higher frequency RAM and lower timings, and we'll see. We'll see. I will get one. Don't worry. It will be coming. I'll try to work something out. Who knows? Maybe something will happen, like I said, and I'll be able to get it on launch day. I don't know. I was hoping maybe Asus would contact me, or I was hoping maybe I could find a contact with Asus, but that just didn't work out. So anyways, with that out of the way, the Ally is definitely going to be looking like it's worthwhile for me because the RAM and the NVMe drive. The 2230s, they're so expensive. They're harder to find, and you can't even get them in a 4 terabyte currently. I think there's 1 or 2 in the works, but they're probably going to be crazy expensive. So I'd rather have a 2280. I have a 2280 in most of my other configurations. We've ran 2280s in this. I've got a 2230 in here now because, as you know, we did the water cooling project, which is over. So yeah, there's that. So before we just keep on rambling and running our mouth, let's just open this up. This is a new set that I got, and I got a new screwdriver because this one was starting to lose its torque. And I was basically running into some issues where it just wasn't torquey enough to break open some of the tougher screws, and I think I've just used it and abused it too much. I've had this thing well over 2 years, maybe 2 years, and it's been amazing. It lasted me for a long time with tons of uses. I've even lost some of the bits out of here. This screwdriver, I'll link their website below, but this was a product that was sent over, and this is the xCool electric precision screwdriver set. And it does have 39 bits, and it also has some precision drill bits in here, which was pretty cool. So we get an owner's manual. I'll set that up here. So we get an owner's manual. Inside of here, we got some other tools. We've got a pry tool of some sort. tweezers. These are always handy. And then we've got our USB-C cable. I won't open that up because we don't need that yet. Now, inside of here is something really cool. Now, this is the case. It's aluminum, so if you drop it, it's not going to break. One of the first things that happened with this one is this clear acrylic little window broke. Like on maybe like the first week I had it. So I kind of don't really miss that. This case, you could charge while it's inside of the case, which is amazing. And it's got a charging indicator, which I like. You press that and it opens up. So we're going to open that up right here. And we have our xCool. And it's pretty nice, actually. Let's see the weight difference. Honestly, it's about the same weight. There's really not much difference. As far as thickness goes, it's about the same. It's not too much different. Torque. It actually feels like it's got more torque. I think on paper it does as well. Oh yeah, this thing's definitely, I can feel the torque on this. On paper, this does have more torque. I'll try to put the specs above here, but it did on paper have more torque. And it does have multiple torque settings. And there is a light as well, which is amazing. I actually really like that light right there. Let's see the brightness, if there's a brightness difference. So that's about that for. I think the LED, it's about the same. There's not a lot of difference between them, but it's just enough. And this little thing right here can come off so you can change out your drill bits or your screwdriver tip bits. But one of the cool things that I really liked about this is I can take these little drill bits right here. And all these are magnetic, by the way, so you won't lose your bits. You can put them back in there. So you could take this little drill bit right here, screw it back on, just don't cross thread it or you're really, really out of luck. Now let's grab something to drill into. We'll actually drill into this. This is a PLA little thing I made for my screws and stuff. So this is generally pretty hard to drill into. It works. Wow.
Wow.
Look at that. Look at that. It works. That's crazy. It's quiet. It works really well. So this is going to be a new staple on the channel. It definitely gets the CPPC Tech stamp of approval. And thank you guys for sending this out. This xCool screwdriver is already gonna do a lot of cool stuff. And we're gonna actually use it to take apart the Ally, and we're gonna talk about it. So let's go ahead and find a Phillips head bit. Let's find the right one. This will work right here. Should work. Yes, that'll work. All right, so let's go ahead and get that off. Now, the one thing I do notice is to switch from drill bit to this, you do have to take this thing off. So, okay, it is nice. Okay, so we can leave that off. We don't actually need that to stay on. Now we can get to screwing. Whoa! Oh my god, this thing's fast. Holy. Yo, this thing's fast as boy. Look how fast that thing is. Watch this. No. I'm not hyping that up. Watch this. This thing is double the speed. Watch this. And it's magnetic too, by the way. Yo, this thing's fast. Oh yeah, dude. All right. Thank you, xCool. That's really cool. They definitely nailed the product, nailed the naming. Oh my god, that's fast. I didn't expect it to be that fast. I really didn't. Holy crap. That thing's freaking super fast. I gotta be careful with that. I'm actually gonna turn that speed down a little bit So yeah, this is the current state of my Ally. I do have the 2230 on here, but you guys know I love my 2280s. I'm gonna put it back on here. I just need to format one of my drives. I had to RMA, so we'll end up getting that going back again. Now with the Ally X, one of the things that I wanted to highlight is they have changed the fan design. Now I haven't had any conclusive temp tests that I have seen, but we will see that. We will dive into that. The SD card reader was moved, I believe, to the other side over here. And one of the other things I've noticed is there's like a vent underneath the PCB. So it's going to be taking in or letting out some air. So it might help with some of that stuff. Now, the SD card reader, a lot of you guys have been worried about Asus and their whole drama. But honestly, I still trust Asus. You know, I don't have a problem with Asus. I really never did. I don't see why some people you know, really just jump the gun with the thing. They haven't even had issues. If you've had issues, you have a right to be mad. I get that. But I haven't had issues, so I don't have a right to really be mad. Now, the SD card reader, they said they have it fixed. They were experimenting with pumping more voltage into the SD card reader chip, and that seemed to eliminate those issues. There was also talks about the newer one being in a different location and having some ventilation around it, or some extra air coming in or out. It might help keep the controller cool. And there's like a thermal fuse that I had read that they were having some issues with. So these fuses, they can pop from heat, voltage, or both. So heat is always a concern when it comes to these things. Your SD cards in general have a temp limit. The reader has a temp limit. Temperatures do play a big role. I myself have never had an issue with my SD card reader, but I also changed out the thermal pads below the fan right here. There's a metal plate that actually overlays the power phases, and I have a better thermal pad. If you haven't seen that video, I think I did it at one point. I'll try to recover it if I can, or link it below, or if you comment, I'll try to copy it and link it if you comment about it. But that took away some of that heat and passed it up here a little bit more efficiently to this metal plate. Higher fan curves, you know, I always run a little bit of a higher fan curve, and that helps keep that plate cooled, helps keep that air moving out of there so the heat doesn't just soak into the board and then therefore reach on the other side of that controller and the fuse. Who knows? That could have been why mine lasts as long, and I haven't had any issues out of it because I really keep my temps down low. That's just something I've always been a fan of. Lower temps can prolong the life of just about anything. Got RAM heat sinks right here. Don't know if that's doing anything. I've definitely still got the Chonky Boy heat sink. That was my OG prototype model. Still got the dented heat pipe, even though I still have lower temperatures than just about everyone. Just proof in the pudding that a effing dent isn't going to do anything. So if you dent your heat pipe installing this, it's usually because you've used too small of a thermal pad, or you're not referencing and checking your clearances properly. And if you did dent it, don't worry, because look, there's a dent from the factory right there. There's a dent here and dent here and here. And if you look at every heat pipe ever made on any laptop, there's way worse dents than this. So you should just stop. Just
try to relax your anus,
because it's not a big deal. Watch your temps. You're fine. I run mine in the low 70s to upper 60s with no problems at all, okay? So chill. So everything else, I've changed out the thermal solution from the stock, the Honeywell PTM. I changed that out for cryo sheets. It's a Thermal Grizzly cryo sheet. Absolutely amazing. It's a one and done thing. So if you remove it, you can reuse it. I've tried a lot of different options out there. The one thing you don't want to use is liquid metal. Ask anyone who has liquid metal long term, and they'll tell you why not to use liquid metal, or just go on Reddit and look at anybody of the sort who's had the issues. It ends up dripping down, and there's not enough conformal coating. There's not enough stuff you can shield around it to stop it, especially since it's going to be in the hand, being moved around. It's not ideal for something that's being moved around while it's hot, because it's called liquid metal for a reason. It's liquid.
Liquid hot magma.
It doesn't stay solid when it's hot. It's liquid. And we dropped the screwdriver. Oh well. We are going to make a full-length video of this. I think I'm going to make a full-length video of this. I'm going to mispronounce this because I suck at English, but it's pronounced absolute, but I say it as abxylute. You know, like a flute, but it's supposed to be like an X, like xylophone, so absolute. Very hard to pronounce for someone who speaks barely any English, as you know. But it does have an SD card reader at the bottom, USB-C, headphone jack, joysticks feel really good. Buttons and triggers feel amazing, and it's a great cloud streaming device. You could pick these up on Amazon. I'll leave links below. They are not paid links, but I think this device is pretty sick, and it's very lightweight, it's very thin, it's very portable, it's got a really good battery life. I've played around with it a pretty good bit so far, and I like it. It's definitely probably my favorite cloud streaming handheld, if not my favorite cloud streaming handheld out there, because I've tried a few, and I like that one the best. I'm not a fan of cloud streaming stuff, but this kind of changed my mind on it. It really made me think twice about what I say about cloud streaming, because a lot of stuff has changed. Internet's changed, latency's changed, and clouds in general are getting a little bit more efficient with sending over that data. So I like it. It's pretty good. So look, guys, if there's something that I missed out on, if you still have any questions about the glasses or anything like that, we covered those. I don't really want to ever make another video about those, but they are good. I still use them to this day. A lot of people ask me questions about that in the videos and ask me, hey, do I still use them? Yeah, love it. Watch YouTube videos in the mornings on them sometimes. Play a few games here and there. Really good. So look, sorry I ranted. It's been very tough. I've been dealing with a lot of other things in general in life, with stress and just not feeling well, my health, my back. I'm a mess, guys. I am at my lowest in life right now. I'm trying my hardest to hold it together. Yeah, I gotta lower this torque. This is almost too much torque, but we'll lower this. I just can't believe how fast I can zip these things through there. That's insane. That's insane, guys. You are an OG like you wouldn't believe if you made it this far. You deserve a cookie. And I wish I could just hand you one real quick, but hey, thank you for watching. And if there's anything you guys have a question about, anything I can do for you, anything at all, DM me on Discord. Hop in the Discord. Leave a comment. Please make it nice. I've had enough of the negative and the trolls, and I don't think I'm going to be responding to those anymore. They're getting the better part of me, and if you are a troll, you need to go touch grass, and you need to reevaluate your life, because our time here on Earth is not promised. Tomorrow is not promised, and you guys have taken life for granted. I've taken life for granted, and we need to kind of step back and learn to love each other, be peaceful, find something positive in the world that you enjoy, and just do it. Don't steal the sunshine away from me because you're not happy with your life, or you feel that it vindicates you and your agenda. It's just not fair. It's just not fair at all, because I haven't done anything wrong to you directly, and I don't think I've done anything wrong to anyone else directly. I share nothing but love and passion here. And that's why most of you guys are here, and I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And if there's anything else, you know where to reach me. So y'all have a good afternoon, good evening, or good night.